The doc is in. We have Fox 56 News Chief Medical Contributor Dr. Ryan Stanton in studio with us once again. Important stuff.
Yes, today he is answering the question, what exactly is a fever?
Absolutely, and there couldn't be a better time than right now with all of our viruses going around. Say, what is a fever? And you think that's kind of a silly topic, but it's really not. I'm getting a lot of questions, a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of people who could avoid the emergency department if they actually knew exactly what it was. A fever is a symptom. It is not the actual disease or the problem. It's the immune response, the immune inflammatory response as the body's trying to make the environment uncomfortable for whatever it feels like is attacking it. Now, I want you to underline this. Maybe get out a highlighter. Underline it right here. Bold it. A fever itself is not dangerous. In fact, the human body itself cannot produce a fever that can harm it. What we saw in the past was not actually the fever causing brain damage. It was actually a type of meningitis. The fever itself is actually a healthy response. So what are you going to feel? The chills. That's when the body's actually building up the fever. So you get those chills because the body's making those muscles fasciculate. That builds up heat just like you're exercising. Shaking, the same thing. And then when we're starting to break the fever, you're going to start seeing that sweating. That profuse sweating as the body dilates those blood vessels, trying to dissipate that heat, get that temperature back down. So some important things to consider. And during our next segment, we're going to talk about exactly what you need to do about that fever if you have it, when to treat it, and most importantly, when not to treat it.
It's a really good point because I feel like we are all familiar with that sensation. I've always known, oh, I have a fever right now. Because of what you're describing.
And most importantly, with parents and everything like that, they see the fever as the symbol, the tangible symbol of the illness their child has, when in fact it's actually a good response. We'd like to see a fever. That's the body doing what it needs to do to kill off whatever's attacking it.
Interesting.
Okay, can't wait to hear more, Doc. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Great to have you in studio as always. We're back with the final hour of the show, more with the Doc, and a lot more fun ahead as well. Stay with us.
Scan the QR code on your screen now and download the Fox 56 News app.
The Doc is in. Fox 56 News Chief Medical Contributor Dr. Ryan Stanton.
Earlier he told us what a fever is, and now he's giving us advice on how to treat it if you have one.
But really the most important is if you need to treat it. Yes, we're talking about fevers, actually a symptom associated with an infectious process or inflammatory process in the body. If you missed the first segment, you're going to jump online later and check that out because it's important information. But here's what we need to do if you've determined you've had a fever. Now, first, use your antipyretic of choice. Most people are going to think about things like acetaminophen or ibuprofen or whatever you may use, but we need to treat the symptoms, not necessarily the number. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees or if it's 105. It's not going to harm the child or the adult. It really is more about how they're acting and feeling. Treat the symptoms. If they're bouncing around the house, acting well at 104, let it ride. It's actually a part of the good immune system, so don't worry about the number itself. And finally, the temperature will return once the meds wear off. But a lot of people end up in the ER because they're saying, hey, I gave Tylenol ibuprofen and 4 hours later the fever returned. Well, that's what it's going to do. The immune system is going to kick back in, raise that temperature back up. Again, still a part of the normal immune system. It's helping just think of the house like it's a party at your house and your body says it's time for everybody to go home. So we crank up the temperature to 102, 104. People don't want to dance. They definitely don't want to make more viruses. So we're getting them out of the house.
Well, good information. Here's hoping everybody stays healthy for the holidays. It doesn't always work out that way, but
it's not what I'm hearing right now. We got a lot going on, making sure you're doing everything to stay safe. We want to have a great holiday season.
Take care of yourself. We'll be right back.
On the go? Stream Fox 56 News live on your phone and watch wherever you are.